Is something wrong? Such a forlorn expression didn't match Malfira's cheerful disposition.
Oh, sorry to worry you. It's nothing I would bother a stranger over.
Malfira forced a grin and stretched the throw across her lap.
It's just, I had hoped to use warming thread on this little project.
What kind of thread? I didn't even know there were different types of thread. But according to Malfira, there was a type of insect native to Fondom whose silk was imbued with magic. Items made from this silk were said to retain a comfortable warmth all year round.
If only I could get to Fondom on my own. And then there's the matter of tracking the insect.
Her smile never quavered, but the way her eyebrows stitched together ever so slightly covertly signaled her true disappointment. I could do it for you. I know I look young, but I'm a veteran Skyfarer. I put my hands on my hips and puffed out my chest, a posture I hoped would inspire confidence.
Oh, that's sweet. But it was just a silly thought. My fault for having unrealistic expectations, really.
From her tone alone, I could tell the pose did not, in fact, inspire confidence. Later, after a quick discussion with the captain, we decided to head to Fondom anyway. I needed Malfira to finish her blanket. I just didn't understand why yet. Everyone, to the fight! According to Sierra, the insect in question nests atop the local wildlife, but there's a rumor a vicious monster also makes its home here. Stay on your toes. You don't scare us! Don't think so! Let's break you in! Those look like fire spirits.
We better get them before they get us!
What is next?
You're so cool!
The river, run red!
Don't get cute! Nothing of consequence, I guess. Fuji, no! Bad pop! That is not food! We'll eat as soon as we're back. Try to hold on a little longer.
Ugh, it's so hot! I feel like my sweat is sweating! Why are we going through the trouble again?
Sorry. I just wanted to put a smile on Malfira's face. She looked so, I don't know, forlorn?
But it was your first time meeting her, wasn't it? Who's she to you?
I know it's a weird connection, but her name, it sounded like my sister's.
Into the fray!
Sure.
Rare to find such power in one so young.
And that was just a taste!
In, two. Oh. 3, 4. Looks like someone wants to fight. Let's teach them not to butt in.
Too hot to handle!
Like that, slingshot!
Scarlet Sword, heed my call!
Don't get cute! Not here either. This bug is a real needle in the haystack. More wyverns. Momo, you bring up the rear. Don't think so. How's that? protect you from the mean monsters.
What is next?
Press the advantage! Leave it to me!
Into the fray!
Gigi! Beppo! Down, boys! You can't play so close to the magma. What if you fall in? Follow me!
Well, I think we've picked this area clean. Huh? What's that?
Vern! Look out! It's a monster in disguise! You must be that vicious monster we heard about. If you thought you could get a leg up on us, you have another thing coming. Now, get whipped!
Meet your doom!
I got you!
Suffer!
We were in perfect sync.
Must agree.
Beppo, you wonderful cub!
Now is not the time to become a monster. No quarter!
Show them our ferocity! Thanks! Hey! Nice! Another one at the bug! Now we can find that bug in peace. Tell me, you learn your lesson? Is this what you were looking for? I proudly displayed the hard-won thread to a surprised and overjoyed Malfira.
My word, you really are a Skyfarer, aren't you?
She took the spool for a closer look.
Yes, this is the genuine article. I can't accept this for free. Let me see what money I have on me.
From her purse, she pulled a single, unfamiliar coin. I knew from its extravagant design that it wasn't in circulation anywhere near Seed Hollow, but it looked valuable all the same. I refused the gesture. Retrieving the thread was my decision. I wanted to see that blanket finished. A reward was never part of the equation. Malfira's grin bloomed into a full belly laugh. She told me I was a strange girl. Laughing with her, I replied that I had met stranger.
Good day.
We made another pit stop in Seed Hollow, which gave me the chance to check up on Malfira and her progress with the blanket. Lyria and Vern came with me, and their eyes lit up when they saw her intricate embroidery, just like mine did that first sunny day. Though I hadn't known Malfira for very long, I felt a kinship with her, and I liked to watch her determination evolve with each new stitch. But most of all, I liked that her kind smile, maternal and comforting, was always able to put me at ease. I'd never met anyone so genuine. In fact, nor had my pets.
Who's a spooky boy? Yes, you are.
Malfira playfully scratched behind Beppo's ears. The mood was light, so I decided to learn a little more about my friend. I noticed you're in the Central Plaza quite often.
More or less. I don't have much else to occupy my time. Not with that silly boy still playing in the sand.
Malfira's partner was a geologist on dispatch in Dolly, an extended dispatch, it seemed. Dolly was an island of deserts, with bitterly cold nights. To Malfira, a cozy blanket seemed the perfect way to combat the harsh environment.
Maybe it won't be necessary. He's coming back for a visit on the Airbus next month, and I'm about to burst with excitement.
Her joy should have been infectious. Try as I might to put on a brave face, my heart sank at her words. The Airbus from Dolly? Of course. During the next month's visit, Malfira looked more downtrodden than I had ever seen. Vern expressed his distress before I could vocalize my own.
Holy spools, lady! You look like you've been up all night. You feeling okay?
Malfira meekly raised her head, barely affording him a grin.
My love, he didn't come back to me.
It took me a moment to find a response. I'm sure... I bet he'll find a way to return next month. She had already been waiting an eternity for him. What comfort were my words? And yet, she still found the strength to smile.
I hope so. I'm so tired of moping around like this. It's getting harder to stay positive, but I'll find a way, for his sake. That man, you know, he's so absent-minded, he probably mixed up the date on his ticket.
Malfira unrolled the blanket across her lap, checking the backing of her stitching.
I've poured a lot of love into this design. I hope he likes it.
As she vacillated from melancholy to forced cheer, and back again, I had to bite my lip for fear my thoughts would spill out. One month passed, and still no word from Malfira's beloved.
I'm sure he has his reasons.
Lyria tried to comfort the young seamstress, but Malfira's smile was noticeably dimmer than before.
Yes, you're right. He's not one to take risks or push himself too far. There's nothing to worry about, I'm sure.
Her words sounded strained, like she was trying to convince herself. I thought I knew what was happening, but I couldn't bring myself to acknowledge it. Not yet. We were all stuck in awkward silence, so I changed the subject.
How did you two meet?
It was in this very plaza. He was a bookworm, so he came here to do his reading. I was out catching some sun myself when he found the courage to sit next to me. I turned to greet him and he shoved a book on embroidery in my face. Not the greatest first impression, huh?
Energy returned to her movements. Color returned to her smile.
So what did you do?
You're going to laugh. I told him I already owned the book. His face turned pale as a ghost, but it was cute, seeing him all vulnerable. So I asked his name, and the rest is history.
She shut her eyes, savoring the nostalgia. Then she sighed.
Guess I'll have to go to Dolly and drag him home myself, won't I?
No, not that. I couldn't let her go to Dolly alone. After witnessing her optimism return, I couldn't let her learn the truth. No, you should stay here. We'll go for you. Dolly can be a dangerous place, and I'm sure your partner wouldn't want anything to happen to you. I hoped that logic would be enough.
Dolly? Dangerous? But so many people live there. But if a sky-faring crew is offering their services, who am I to deny professionals?
Vern scrunched his face in confusion.
Lots of people? What are you talking about? Dolly's basically a giant sand...
A quick nudge was enough to interrupt Vern. I hoped Malfira had missed the majority of his comment. You can trust us. We handle this kind of assignment all the time. We'll be back before you know it.
Okay, let's do it.
My air of confidence, false though it was, seemed to bring her welcome relief.
Could you take the blanket with you? I wanted to give it to him myself, but I know he's probably already spent weeks freezing at night, and it won't do me any good here.
She pushed a soft bundle into my hands. It was warm to the touch, thanks to the silk from Fondom, but it was also warm to the soul, thanks to the love and care that Malfira put into every stitch. Of course, it would be my pleasure. Everyone, to the fight! According to Malfira's map, the excavation was near the central ruins.
You sure you want to trust that dusty old thing?
Point taken. But we can at least get a sense for the lay of the land. Now let's go. This place is crawling with monsters. Stay on your toes, everyone. Leave it to me! Come on, late Don't get cute! Nicola! Don't let him escape! Attack!
Or break!
I'm a sled! Gigi, help! Clean this place up so we can start our search!
Nice try! Let's roll! Stay sharp! Lights out! Here, maybe we'll find something back at the western campsite. It's worth a look.
Do these guys get paid to fight us or what?
Out of practice? We'll handle them. I'm starting to get restless. Come on, let's hurry. This place feels right somehow.
I think I saw someone over there! Let's go! Where'd that dude from before go?
I think I know.
No, it can't be.
I'm afraid so. He's no longer with us, but we've at least found his resting place. That's some comfort.
What? No, that's impossible.
We all stood before a grave, created 15 years ago in the wake of a terrible calamity. Carved on the back were the names of the deceased. And there, in the middle of them all, was the name of Malfira's beloved. I wrapped the blanket around the stone, tying it securely so the harsh desert environs wouldn't steal it, like it stole the lives of these scholars. Maybe it would at least keep their memory warm. Malfira put her heart and soul into this blanket. Take care of it, okay?
Good day.
When I returned to Seed Hollow, Malfira's voice was shaky.
Is he okay?
I couldn't face her as I struggled out a response. He's fine. He said the survey was taking longer than expected, that it's going to be a while before he can join you.
Oh, thank goodness. I was starting to fear the worst.
She was relieved. I was crushed. But how could I bring myself to tell her the truth? He said thanks for the blanket, that he'll never feel cold again.
Of course he won't. We made sure of that by retrieving the silk from Fondom.
Malfira's joy was contagious, but I still had to force myself to smile. I'm not sure if my act was convincing, but I knew, more than anything, that I didn't want to show her how sad I truly was. When her own grin softened, I knew my ruse had failed. If anything, my glaring lies had only cast a light on the truth she'd buried deep in her mind.
Oh, I can't thank you enough for delivering the blanket. I knew I couldn't rest until it was safely in his arms.
It clicked. Malfira knew what she was. She knew what I was. Hearing the sorrow evaporate entirely from her voice confirmed it. But now nothing bound her to the world, and she began to fade, like mist in the morning light. I watched, tears in my eyes, as the contours of her form blurred into abstraction.
Somewhere deep down, I knew I had died. It was the day he left for Dolly. I'm not sure what happened, but I just had to wait for him, hoping he would come sit next to me one more time. I've held on to that hope for what seems like an eternity.
Malfira, I'm sorry. I feel like I lied to you.
Oh, hush now. I bent the truth too, didn't I? I was glad for your company. Happy to have someone to chat with.
Malfira brought her hands to her chest and looked up to the infinite blue stretching above us.
Do you think he liked the blanket? Do you think he's warm now?
He was overjoyed. You found the best thread, stitched away in the sun, and poured your love into it. How could he not be? She smiled her last to me, more genuine and placid than ever before. Before we went to Dolly, I wanted to confirm my suspicions about Malfira. I checked with an airship engineer about airbuses to the desert.
Dolly? No liner's been out that way for about 15 years now, on account of what happened and all.
He explained that the last ship to Dolly was filled with scholars and their families, leaving on a journey from which they'd never return. But 15 years. She'd been waiting 15 years to deliver her gift. I knew her isolation. I wouldn't let her wait any longer. Before I was ready to part ways with Malfira for good, I decided I needed to build a new grave for her and her beloved in Dolly. I realized that she had been right. With both sand and chill nipping at your skin, the desert nights really were cold and unfriendly. Wrapping the blanket around the new gravestone, I looked up at the full moon and saw 2 shooting stars falling through the night sky like tears down a cheek. And I knew, despite the chill, this was the perfect resting place. I turned to my pets. It's okay now. They'll never be apart again.
I found the largest known monster's den in this skydom, and began my hunt. Die. For the sake of the skies, and my captain. My blade cut through flesh and bone. Again. Again. Again and again. And soon, time lost all meaning. How long was I there? Perhaps 3, or even 4 days. My grip went numb, my vision blurred, my body grew heavy. But I couldn't stop. Not here. With these hands, I would deliver my loved ones. Even if it meant steeping them in blood. Next is 979. I must stay strong. For the captain. I must destroy every threat. Foam on the sea, crescent moon. There is but come, my friends. The final song. They must all be eliminated. The tide rises. My hands have gone numb, but even in death, my sword and I are one. Out of my sight. Spread your float. Night fall. The clouds scatter. Pass away. Rain on the hills. Come what may. Evanescence! To see me is to see death. Scatter! The butter. No one's self. Pass away! Float. Foam on the sea. The pond break. 999. There's more above me. I can feel it. Here. You have breathed your last.
Wind in the field.
Crescent moon! Swift as thoughts, certain as death! Scatter! Come, spread your wings! The butterfly! I feel to the heavens! Like the stay vigilant! Rain on the hills! The clouds scatter! Nightfall! Life is a swift as thought, certain as death!
Wind in the fields.
Dawnfly stand. The butterfly. The pond scatter. Succumb. Fly. Crescent moon. The butterfly. Hero foam on the sea. Like the dawn. It must be done. No one come, my friends. I will take your life, even if it costs me mine. Small wings they beckon storm. Butterfly effect. I must protect the captain. The tide rises. Fly. The pond scatter. You're finished. Succumb. Scatter.
Rain on the hills.
Observe and overcome. 1,000. I finally did it. Wait. There's more of that. Impossible. My body had reached its limit. I had managed to fend off countless hordes of monsters, but more kept creeping from the shadows. I summoned the last of my strength for one final swing. Then my sword clattered to the ground. Darkness. Monsters began to close in, claws drawn, ready to kill. I closed my eyes, waiting for it all to end. But before my mind could fade into darkness, I was roused by a brilliant flash.
Narmaya!
Captain?
Let's get you out of here! Quickly! You had us worried, you know?
Vern, Lyria too? The captain took my hand, but I couldn't leave yet. I had to finish the job.
Narmaya, I'm so sorry we didn't notice what you were going through sooner.
My heart plunged. I should have been the one apologizing. I was the one who failed. Gently, I tried to withdraw my fingers from the captain's.
We heard it all from Sierra. Can't believe she's been giving you all the hard jobs. You were doing it to protect us, right?
I parted my lips. They needed to understand that it wasn't Sierra's fault, that I brought this all on myself. but my arid throat could not push out a voice. After a moment of silence, the captain pressed down on my hand.
Narmaya, I want to protect those closest to me, same as you. So if something's on your mind, don't keep it to yourself. We're here for you.
And just like that, I was overcome with the emotions I had tried so hard to suppress. How could I have been so blind? Not a single one of us could protect the crew, but that's okay, because all of us could protect each other. The whole is greater than its parts. The captain's grip was firm and led me blinking into the sunlight. There, I saw worry etched into the faces of the crew. I realized that, by putting myself in harm's way, I hurt those who cared for me. Those who loved me, those I wanted to spend my days with, now and forever. But the course I had been following could only lead to isolation. The captain still hadn't let go of my hand. Though the grip of those calloused fingers was firm, I felt a gentle kindness in their warmth.
Good day.
Captain, are you hungry? I'd be more than happy to feed you. Or maybe you'd like a nap. I always thought I had to be strong for my loved ones, never truly realizing they were my strength. We supported each other. We lessened the burden of sorrow and shared the light of joy. Lyria, you've got a bit of cream on your cheek. Here, let me wipe it off for you.
Oh, thank you, Narmaya. I'm glad Butterfly Girl's back to normal. But is it just me, or is she laying it on even thicker than usual?
Vern was adorable, trying to play the part of the tough dragon. However, as I took him into my arms, I thought, he shouldn't have to put on an act around me. After all, we're family, aren't we? On a bright, quiet day, I had a sparring match with the captain. I once locked myself away from the world in the pursuit of strength, training in solitude. But I've since found that I train best with those I love around me, to lend me a guiding hand or an encouraging voice. The captain held nothing back during our session. It seems I'm not the only one who has grown stronger. Our blades rang bright and clear, and the captain's smile is a clear reminder of how far I'd come. After training was over, we stood for a while longer on the deck of the Grand Cipher, feeling the breeze. Above us, the azure sky was spread as far as the eye could see, its splendor too much to take in all at once. I felt as if I would be consumed by the sky itself, and grasped the captain's hand. In that moment of peace, I swore that I would keep learning and growing. Not alone, but together with those I love.
Three days after the victory in the caves, Vern rushed into my cabin.
Dude, he's here! The captain of Seed Hollow's army is here!
Here, on the Grand Cipher. My eyebrows drew themselves together. I was quite certain we hadn't been seen.
Do you think he figured us out?
No, that shouldn't be possible. I had lived and worked in the shadows for many years. I knew how to remain invisible. Let us meet him in any case. It would be discourteous to turn him away.
Agreed. We're lots of things, but rude ain't one of them.
Vern led me to a spacious room on the Grand Cipher, where our guest sat perched on the edge of a comfortable chair, his hands upon his knees. He stood up quickly when we entered.
It's, been a while.
He wouldn't quite meet my eyes. As the young man swallowed rather loudly, I recalled his last words to me. We can handle monsters without you swinging in to save the day. It has. I still regret my actions in the forest. Is that what you've come to talk about?
No!
He shook his head vigorously.
I'm here to thank you. You saved my life, and the lives of my comrades.
So, our presence had been noticed. I swept my cloak back in a deep bow. I apologize for interfering yet again.
Oh, no, please, stop with the apologies. You're just making me feel worse. Listen.
He explained. 3 days ago, Seed Hollow's army had been called upon to drive back a horde of goblins. He had marched his company there with a heavy heart, expecting great losses. But to his surprise, when they emerged from the goblin den, they were not missing even a single soldier.
Goblins are intelligent. They post sentinels and form ranks, just like we do. Sword fighters and shield bearers in front, mages in back. Any battle with them should have been tough and bloody.
Yet these goblins had no set sentries, and their forces were meager and scattered. Even the large beasts the goblins kept in reserve had been terribly weakened by the time Seed Hollow's forces reached it.
But what could have worn it out like that? A night of partying too hard? No. Someone had to have helped us, and luckily, I had an inkling who.
Now he raised his round, earnest face and looked straight at me.
There was this knight who'd saved my troops before. He wore jet black armor and carried a crimson sword.
Yeah, no way you'd forget that getup after seeing it once.
Vern peered down at my armor. It was matte black, so I could slip by in the night unseen. But I suppose outlined against the light of the sun, it cut quite a distinctive figure.
The rest really wasn't that difficult. Went with that description to a merchant who deals with a lot of foreign traffic, and learned about a former knight captain.
I see. Years away from the battlefield had dulled the army's swords. This I already knew. But now I realize it had allowed them to build rapport with their people, winning them trusted eyes and ears throughout their country.
If anyone should be apologizing, it's me.
Before I could stop him, he went down on one knee.
That day in the forest, I was frustrated and ashamed by the weakness of my troops. So I took it out on you. I'm sorry. You saved my soldiers not only once, but twice. And the second time around, you even made sure we learned from the experience. I really don't know how to make it up to you.
Vern and I looked at each other, surprised by the sincerity in his voice. Your kind words are more than enough, and your forgiveness. The young man opened his mouth, but I shook my head. Whatever the circumstances, I still trampled your pride underfoot.
What's pride when compared to life?
To speak the truth, I thought Seed Hollow's forces poorly trained and disorganized, from an outsider's perspective at least. By placing a hand beneath the man's elbow, I silently bid him rise. But I see now that you have strength and wisdom that was hidden to me. With you in command, I have no doubt your company will go on to accomplish great things.
That means a lot, coming from you.
He smiled, the tension melting from his frame.
But the fact remains that I let my soldiers get out of practice. You've helped me realize a lot these past few days, and I promise we'll train harder than ever, make up for lost time, and become the defenders this country deserves.
Good. Never stop believing in yourselves. Seed Hollow, a land of gardeners who derive joy from the bounty of flora and the simplicity of peace. Though they were no longer the mightiest of warriors, they were by no means weak. No more than the wildflower, who holds aloft its petals in dry soil and through battering storms. And like wildflowers, they would continue to grow and flourish. Though Seed Hollow is a small country now, perhaps in time, it will rise to become a mighty nation. When that day comes, it surely will make a valuable ally for Fiendrock.
Hey, is it just me, or have we been getting less monster hunting missions recently?
We, as all Skyfarers, were used to shouldering the quests of greatest peril, as we've seen more combat than most standing armies. However, though Zega Grande was as plagued by monsters as ever, we'd had a quiet few days.
I think I can explain.
Lyria raised her hand, eager to impart valuable intelligence.
Apparently, Seed Hollow's soldiers have been super on top of things lately. A monster appears, and before the Crew Alliance can even draft up a mission, they get in there and solve the problem.
Good for them, but less work for us means less jingle in our pockets.
Vern drifted to me from across the room, and positioning his snout by my ear, spoke in a whisper.
Guess they really got their act together, huh?
It would certainly seem so. I looked up at my small comrade in training. We exchanged a secret smile. Well done, troops. Well done.